love a good Cica serum, right? Well, today I'm going to share my review and my thoughts on 3 quite popular Korean Cica, so Centella Asiatica serums with you, and one of them in particular really impressed me. In case you're new here, hi, my name is Ulrike. I'm a K-beauty and skincare content creator, and I'm happy to have you with me on the skincare journey. So let's have a look at 3 really good Cica serums from Korea. First Cica serum is one that I have talked about before, quite extensively actually, and I've also already actually used it up, so this is actually an empty. I still have texture shots for this, so I'm just going to show you the texture later on. But yeah, this one I have used up, and I am contemplating potentially repurchasing it. It was one of my favorite serums of last year. I think I've talked about it at least twice, if not 3 times, but I had to add this to this video because I really do think it's one of the best Cica serums, Centella Asiatica containing serums that I've tried. So this is the Torriden Balanceful Cica Soothing Cica Serum, I think it's called. This to me really is a beautiful, soothing, hydrating, very minimalist, very sensitive skin friendly serum with a potent Centella Asiatica complex. To me, this is the better alternative to the super popular hyaluronic acid Torriden dive-in serum, which I just find a little bit boring, to be honest. This to me has a similarly light gel texture, but it just has that extra benefit of being really, really soothing. It contains, as I said, a Cica complex, so Madecassoside acid, Madecassoside, Centella Asiatica extract, all of these components of Centella Asiatica mixed together. I really notice when I use this that my skin, which is very redness prone, very inflammation prone, just tends to soothe and calm down pretty much overnight. It's not a miracle, of course, but it makes a huge difference when I use this as a sort of SOS skincare soother. The texture is a little bit sticky, but I find once it sinks into the skin, it does not leave much of a residue. I do think it's a little bit thicker than the original dive-in serum, which is very, very runny. But because of that, I also do find it actually more hydrating. It contains 7 types of hyaluronic acid, plus also glycerin. So it does have a lot of humectant goodness. And otherwise, it doesn't really have that much else, which is why I do consider it to be very sensitive skin friendly. It contains a little bit of LHA as well, which is a very mild derivative of DHA, of salicylic acid, so it can help a little bit with pore care, although I wouldn't overstate that. To me, it's mostly soothing, mostly hydrating, very good for acne-prone skin, hyperreactive skin. It is definitely noticeably anti-inflammatory, and usually you can also find it for quite a good price. So to me, again, much better than the dive-in serum. The cream is also very good from that series, by the way. Cica serum number 2 is quite a new one that I don't think many people have talked about yet, or maybe they just haven't seen it on TikTok. This brand is woefully underrepresented when it comes to Western influencers. I assume it's because they don't send out as much PR, maybe don't do as many paid promotions. I don't know. In Korea, they're very, very popular, and it's of course Abib. And this is the very interesting looking, I'll definitely show you a close-up of this one so that you can see, but this is the Abib Heartleaf TECA Capsule Serum Calming Drop. So this contains little capsules that basically melt into the skin once you apply it, and they contain a very potent, strong Centella Asiatica complex called TECA, TECA, which is supposedly an almost sort of medical grade, if that has any meaning, but a more potent Centella Asiatica complex, where again a lot of different compounds of the Centella asiatica plant are being combined to create something strongly anti-inflammatory, a little bit antibacterial, very soothing. This is combined with Heartleaf, which is another very soothing, redness combating ingredient in a lot of K-beauty skincare that I really, really like. I love Heartleaf. I think I almost prefer it to Centella, to be honest. That and mugwort, to me, this is like the trio of anti-inflammatory skincare. As is the case for pretty much all Abib products, this has a very minimalist formula. It really doesn't contain anything that could super aggravate the skin unless you have personal sensitivities, of course, to certain extracts, etc. It contains a lot of antioxidant plant extracts, humectants, but it's alcohol-free, it's fragrance-free, and it's also a very light formula. I have to say, out of the three, this is probably the lightest serum. For me, with my mature skin, this is a little bit maybe not enough, I find, overall. In terms of hydration levels, this just maybe is a tad too light for me. I think I would have loved this a lot, though, when I was younger. I think it's wonderful if you do have very sensitive skin, and if you don't want the slight stickiness of the Torriden serum. This really does sink in much, much faster. But of course, the con for that is that it's also not as deeply plumping and hydrating, I find. As for soothing, it definitely helps to calm down the skin. I do think, again, the Torriden is a little bit more potent when it comes to that. Overall, I really did like this, but I do find I don't grab it as often as other Cica serums. I also do think that it promises a little bit more than it can deliver. The capsules look really pretty, but I don't know if they really add anything. I don't think they make the formula more stable or the soothing properties more intense. It seems a tad gimmicky. I also do think it's a little bit pricey for what it can do. So I would say out of the three serums from today's video, this might be the one that I would just choose less. And it is still quite full as well. So you can tell that I haven't really used it as much. I think for anyone in their 20s or anyone with very oily skin, this can be a good choice because, again, it doesn't have this slight stickiness of the Torriden formula, and it's not as rich as the third serum is that I'm going to introduce next. So I would say this is like a solid 7 out of 10, whereas the Torriden would probably be a 9 out of 10 for me. So I do prefer the Torriden. I still think the formula overall for this one is very good. Abib remains a very, very good brand specifically for redness-prone, easily inflamed, reactive, and acne-prone skin. And the last Cica serum is relatively new and very successful in Korea. This one keeps being at the top of the sales charts at the Korean Olive Young, which is why I picked up on it and ordered it. And it seems to just do very, very well. This brand in general is very popular in Korea and, again, quite underrepresented, especially on TikTok. Again, I'm assuming it's because they probably don't hire that many Western influencers. I might be wrong, but it's just something I noticed because this brand has been consistently popular in Korea for over a decade, if not longer. They make the #1 sheet masks in Korea. They're also a very affordable brand, and the quality is always just top notch. And it's MEDIHEAL, and this is their Madecassoside Blemish Repair Serum with niacinamide. Now, first up, this is marketed as a hyperpigmentation combating serum in Korea. I wouldn't place too much hope on that. I think the only reason they can do that is because it contains niacinamide, which can help. 2%, which is not that high, but an acceptable amount. But I don't think there's nothing else in there that I think justifies the claim that this will help with dark or age spots. Personally, I don't quite see it. What it can do, however, and why I think it's a really, really good serum, is that it contains really, in my opinion, really high quality Cica Centella asiatica and especially Madecassoside components, to me, the soothing qualities of this have been really, really impressive. Now, one word of warning, if you're very, very sensitive to fragrance, especially natural fragrance, aka essential oils, this does contain a little bit of rosemary leaf essential oil, which can be triggering to very sensitive skin people. MEDIHEAL in general tends to always put a little bit of essential oils in their products. It's just kind of their thing. They do it with the sheet masks as well, many of their toner pads as well, which are also very popular in Korea. So just be a bit careful in case you're very sensitive. It's never bothered my skin, but then I can usually tolerate a bit of fragrance. So I'm just reporting to you so you can make the choice. I do find this extremely gentle overall. And what I also really like about it is that unlike the other two, which are mainly just purely humectant, hydrating goodness, this has a combination of humectants, but also emollient and even moisturizing ingredients, predominantly ceramides and jojoba oil. You actually notice that when you apply it to the skin, that it has a bit of a thicker, richer texture. So there is a nourishing quality to it that the other two serums don't have. So I would say this one is great if you're very, very dehydrated, if you're more mature skinned, but still need anti-inflammatory goodness. If you, like me, struggle with redness, still break out, which I sometimes do, thanks to perimenopause just wreaking havoc on my hormones. And if you just need a bit more richness while at the same time still dealing with blemishes and with just acne-prone problems, hormonal acne, or just overall, again, like the redness, which is such a big problem for me due to all my allergies as well. This really just has a stronger, I find, capability of bringing down the redness. Quite comparable to the Torriden, but the Torriden just has that lightness that I like sometimes, especially in summer, but for winter, I really just grab this quite a lot. I'm glad that I have a double pack because I'm getting through this one quite fast because I've really just been enjoying it. If you want to try a new Cica serum, this one comes really, really highly recommended from me. Out of the three, I do think at the moment this is my favorite, even topping my Torriden serum, which you all know I really, really love. And that was my review, my overview of 3 Cica Centella asiatica serums from Korea that I have really been enjoying. Especially 2 out of the 3 are some of my favorite hydrating and soothing, calming, redness, combating serums that I've ever tried. I hope this was useful to you. Maybe you found a new product, maybe some help with your own redness and inflammation issues. If you're new here, then it would be great if you stuck around and subscribed. Always so happy to see my channel grow and really, really appreciate every single support that I'm getting from you. If you found this video in any way or shape helpful, it would be great if you could give it a thumbs up. That's the best way to support, especially your smaller creators drowning in the sea of content around us. And if you want, you can leave a comment, maybe suggest another Cica serum that you've been loving. Share your experiences with the 3 serums I've shared here, as long as you're nice and respectful. And otherwise, I see you again in 2 weeks with a new video. And until then, please take care. Bye!